If you don't work on quitting or consider seeking professional help for your addiction, you may have to face the fact that you're going to be alone for the rest of your life, especially if you're someone who loves love. Now, a lot of people's worst fear is growing old and alone. And if you don't want that fear to become true, then I really suggest that you start working on the cleanup process. Okay? Because it's really difficult for someone who's not an addict to be in a relationship with someone who is an addict. Okay? It's a a frantic mess. Okay? Um, I know when I was caught up in active addiction, it was really difficult for my ex to deal with me because I could not be tamed. Okay, I was running the streets, and when I say running the streets, I talked about this before. You know, just hanging out at friends' places, going to the casino, like running back and forth, liquor stores, different things of that nature. But I was barely spending time with him, and he was getting lonely. You know, and he ended up moving someone else into his place. I mean, I had my own place at the time, so it wasn't like I was kicked out on the streets, but it was still hurtful knowing that, he moved someone into his home. But it's not like he didn't warn me, like, hey, if you don't get your act together, then I'm gonna dip out. I'm like, hey, whatever, you're not going anywhere, and if you do, I don't care. Like, that was my attitude, during the time when I was partying and stuff like that, because all I could think about was getting high. You know what I'm saying? And gambling. I mean, who cared about anything else? I mean, of course, I was still making my money. Of course, I like money, and I needed money to gamble, even though I couldn't hold on to it. Okay, so yeah, I mean, if some of you are in a relationship right now and you're dealing with a partner, or should I say, if your partner is dealing with you, okay, and it's just been like a rocky situation, and there's been a lot of turbulence because of your antics, then you already know what I'm talking about, okay? You're gonna have to do something to be able to, you know, get sober, get on the right track so your relationship can work. And if you're not in a relationship and you've been praying to God for Him to send you somebody because you're tired of being alone, you know, and you haven't gotten that person yet, hey, I'm here to tell you that you're probably not going to get them. I mean, especially from God, because God is waiting for you to clean up your act, clean up your life, get your life organized, okay? Because He does not bless mess. And I had a few friends that was, saying that they were praying to God to send them somebody. Like, I just want God to send me somebody that, I can spend my life with, because I'm tired of, running around from this person to that person. And I didn't say anything, but I was surely thinking, like, well, God is not going to send you anybody until you get your act straight. But what could I say? Because my act wasn't straight. Okay, so that's probably why I didn't say anything. But I want you to consider getting yourself together, getting sober, getting your life together so that you can have a happily ever after. Because if you stay stuck in addiction, chances are you're not going to have anybody in your life unless it's a toxic person, okay? And two toxic people that want to stay in that addiction cycle, I mean, they're just going to waste away. There's nothing good that's coming from that, because I also hung around people that only dated addicts, okay? And all that's going to do is keep you stuck in that cycle. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, two people that were caught up in addiction didn't sober up eventually, and they didn't, tie the knot at some point, or they didn't stay in a relationship at some point. I'm not saying that that can't happen, because it does. But what are the chances? Okay? So I just, want to encourage you to start doing something different with your life. Start cleaning up your act so that you can have that happily ever after. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay blessed.